camera.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to beautiful Belmont Park. Temperature today in the upper 70s, hazy sky. Main track is fast. Turf courses both listed firm. And we start the day with a carryover in the Empire 6. Begins today in race number 5 on the 10 race card of $104,457. Again, that begins in race 5 on today's 10 race card. Here are the changes for today's races. Race number 1 begins the early pick 5. Cheek pieces on the number 2. Try St. Lorenzo. Cheek pieces on the 2. Try St. Lorenzo in the first. Race 2 begins the early pick 4. These changes. The number 6, Bella Rose, is 1 pound over. Cheek pieces again for the number 8, Mopolka, and scratch the 9, Glass Ceiling. Again in race 2, 6 is 1 pound over. Cheek pieces again for the 8, and scratch the 9, Glass Ceiling. There, in race number 3, this overweight, the number 6, Professor Snape, is 4 pounds over. 4 pounds over on the number 6, Professor Snape, in race number 3. No changes in race 4. Again, that Empire 6 with $104,457 jackpot carryover begins in race 5. 1 aluminum pad on the 1, Gimme Some Mo. Scratch the number 7, Corkman, the main track only. And the number 9, Bay Street Money, is originally. Race number 6 begins the late pick 5. No changes. Race 7 begins the late pick 4. Take out all the also eligibles. The number 13, Smack. The 14, Positive Skew. The 15, Abby Normal. And the 16, Left Leaning Lucy. Again in race 7, scratch 13 through 16. And it begins the late pick 4. No changes in race number 8. In race 9, you can take out the main track onlys, the 1, Chateau, the 2, Pete's Play Call, the 3, Celtic Chaos, the 10, Big Engine, and the 11, Mount Travers. Again, in race 9, all the main track onlys, 1, 2, 3, 10, and 11. And in race number 10, the number 6, Princess Leia, is 1 pound over. 1 pound over on the 6. And scratch the also eligibles. The 13, Here Comes Meg. 14, Beautiful Karen. And 15, Grape Therapy. Scratch 13, 14, 15 out of race number 10. Fast and firm here at beautiful Belmont Park on this Friday. Coming up next, I will be joined by Andy Serling for the Friday edition of Talkin' Horses, presented by Saratoga Water.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Talking Horses, presented by our good friends at Saratoga Water. As you can see, well distributed around the desk. He is Anthony Stabile. I'm Andy Serling, doing the changes today.
I was responsible for the set design.
I gave you an A- for the changes, A to A-.
Called them grass ceiling.
Yeah, you got.
I was looking out at our beautiful turf
courses.
horses. Look at how pristine they look.
It is
What
only
a cover that
day
was, huh?
number
That was a pretty good
5.
cover.
Day number 5 of the meeting. You ready?
Sure.
Ready for the weekend?
Yeah, big weekend coming up. Vosburg.
Let me ask you a question: improbable or maximum security?
Say that one more time.
Improbable or maximum security in the Awesome again?
I'm going to have to go maximum security in that spot.
Can we call it the Goodwood?
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
I
absolutely
hate those name changes. Changing the ancient title.
We absolutely can.
The Lady's Secret, too.
How about
I get the Zenyatta appeal, but there are other races.
How about the Norfolk getting 2 name changes in 9 years?
Is there something wrong with the Norfolk?
Norfolk went to
I don't mind American
Norfolk went to the front runner. And
yeah.
then front runner went to American Pharaoh.
I don't mind
the
American Pharaoh. That's okay. That's okay. I'll allow that one. I like races named for horses or important people in racing. Race number 1.
We bet at Naira Bets, everybody.
Oh,
Head
yeah.
over to NairaBets.com first. Match 200 is the promo code.
Anthony, I can handle this.
All right.
We forgot the opening, guys. I apologize. My fault. Can we do the opening, the Naira Bets promos? Or not?
I guess not. Yes, no, maybe
Sorry
so.
about that. My fault. Thank you for that, Anthony. We'll match them at $200 your initial deposit. Join Naira Bets. Support racing in New York. Match 200. Become a member of Naira Bets. Once you're a member of Naira Bets, 50-50 today through the app only. 50 or more on Churchill and Belmont. Shouldn't be a problem through the app. A $10 bonus. And finally, the contest. You can sign up until I think 5 today, but check it out at naira.com/challenge.
You were very excited to get your $10 bonus last week.
I was. It was
very
important
excited.
to me.
Saturday, right?
Yeah, it really helped these days. Anyhow, I screwed up that pick 5 yesterday. I'm still mad at myself. But anyway, that's in the rearview mirror. Let's take a look in race number 1 at a horse you and I didn't pick, but a horse that you and I picked second. This is Freedom Force. Last time he ran in the dirt, he was not in Mike Maker's barn. He was in Todd Pletcher's barn after being Rudy Brissett's barn. I guess he's kind of the horse to beat because he's the new face, but I wasn't that thrilled with this horse.
Me either. It's like a game of hot potato with this horse, too.
Right.
Rudy Brissett, Todd Pletcher, Mike Maker. Todd only got to run him once.
I don't love that field he ran against. Horse that ran 1-2 in there. He was 50 cents the dollar. He couldn't get the job done. He couldn't even fill out the exacta.
I think the problem is not only was he 50 cents to the dollar, and he only got beat less than 2 lengths. He never looked like he was winning.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
He's not very good, this horse. He may win today, but as the favorite, didn't need him. Why do you like Tri-St. Lorenzo?
And that's a big drop on the 3 Freedom Force. Well, Tri-St. Lorenzo getting back from a turf attempt last time out. He's going to cut back. You know I'm a big fan of cheek pieces. Just kidding. You know, he chased 3 starts back when Fed Funds got the money for Horacio De Paz. He came back. I thought he ran okay for 30. I just think he finds the right spot today.
I agree. I just thought he was probably not going to be that short a price. And I know he's had his share of chances, but so have they all. Kickin' Kirby has. And you say Freedom Force taking a big drop. Is he? He was running in those
well, from
Florida
the 75 on the turf he is.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter.
But the dirt races, no, you're right.
The Florida-bred maiden specials down there, especially the last field he faced, those horses are not very good. He was 1-2 for a reason. That race was a modified maiden claiming race. I thought that the horse in the race were 2, 3, 5. I know a lot of people like the 1. We'll get to the 1 in a second. You've thrown in Tis Me, Bobby McGee. Breeze Bayou had another run of the race 2 races back and just was terrible. I'm not a big fan of his, and I just thought Tri-St. Lorenzo would be better than these. I noticed a bunch of people I know liking Kickin' Kirby. I guess he's had his chances. Maybe the cutback will help him.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that race 2 starts back. That Bonafina height race turned out to be not a very good race at all.
Well, that was a 1.8 miles, though.
It was, but I'm just, the horse. I mean,
well, it was a terrible race going in. It was a terrible race coming out.
I guess the sprint 3 back was okay, and I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I can see the horse based in its race 3 races back. The last time it sprinted, I like turnbacks. So
Tis me, Bobby McGee's the wild card, right? Fresh gelding. Haven't seen him since almost a year to the day. First time dirt. He ran against Jack and Noah and turned aside on the turf. He was 10-1, so it wasn't like he was completely ignored at the
Jeremiah
windows.
was winning with every first-time starter
That's
he
true,
ran
too.
at that point, so I think that probably played a role. It's really more of a dirt pedigree. The dam herself was a decent enough sprinter, running numbers in the 90. I think you probably remember her. This is her first foal. She was not that. I'm sorry, the second dam was good. The dam herself was not very good.
Yeah, I mean, if you looked at a horse in here as a first-time starter, kind
stranger.
of like he is,
Yeah.
you'd want to use a first-time starter in here, wouldn't you?
Maybe, not really. I'm not big on firsters in these kind of races, but
Okay.
I hear you. I don't disagree with your point. I'm just not big on these races.
That's fine.
Race number 2. I think we agreed in race number 2. Hurricane Breeze. That pocket 3 wide upper empty. Yeah, I'm going to disagree with that. I think a couple things happened in this race. One, the race completely fell apart. Number 2, this horse this horse couldn't get out. This horse never had a chance to get
No
out.
spot there,
Jose
back behind
wants to get
traffic
out. The
there.
horse is frustrated in there, and I really think that Hurricane Breeze was completely stymied in, frankly, a better field. He was close to a pace that kind of fell apart. She had a little horse late, but it was just sort of too late. Even then, Jose can't really ride her that strongly. I thought she was blocked in traffic during the run down the stretch.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. And quite frankly,
It's pretty weak
those
field.
horses compared to this bunch, those are gorillas compared to this bunch.
I couldn't agree more. You know, make or break. Well, I have second, you have third. She just sat in a slow pace 2 races back and didn't do much running. And, you know, Leeway
It's
lost.
kind of the same thing, right? Tatarasi got to the lead and just kind of
had-
follow around
had the
there.
exact same trip that Tatarasi had, just sitting behind her.
Yep.
And
Nobody
it was
moved.
when you wanted to be on front and the inside on the turf course, and she was very much helped by the way the race was run. She's just not that good, and the 70 buyer was a lot of function of her trip. I'm not saying she can't win. I don't think you are either, but the one Hurricane Breeze, she's just supposed to beat these horses,
Just
isn't
supposed
she?
to beat these horses.
I just thought she was better than them.
She was kind of like this was a fun card because I thought there was some funky horses. This was the race where I felt like you could lean heavily on Hurricane Breeze. I know these these 3-year-old claiming races, you know, not ordinarily the most reliable types, but she just looked like the one to me today.
Yeah, I thought both of her last 2 races.
Right, she runs either of those races. She's supposed to
She's
beat
supposed
these
to be
horses
very
pretty
tough.
good-
She's
pretty
supposed to be
good.
very tough in
Yeah.
this field. I don't disagree. It's a short price. She won't be 2 to 1, and I don't think. I think she'll be a very short price, but we'll see.
I agree.
Race number 3. Race number 3. I saw you and I disagreed. I think the first thing you have to ask yourself is, what do you want to do with Business Cycle? I know this horse did not run at all for Lolita Shigmongol. Before that, he was, you know, fairly consistent running numbers in the 70s. This is his win 3 back for Gary Gullo, who is Gary done?
I thought I saw Gary tomorrow.
He has a horse in tomorrow.
He told me the end of the month, so Thursday would be October 1st.
No, he's got a horse in today. He's got a horse in this race. What am I
Okay.
talking about? I'm right on top of the game here.
Oh, Local
I
Hero's
picked this
back.
horse. The horse I picked. He's training.
That's great.
Very sharp. I'm very on top of my game today. I didn't
Got a lot
sleep-
going on around us, Andy.
and I did not sleep well last night. I don't know. I put the horse second. I don't trust this horse at all. Just don't know how to rely. Rudy claims for 16. He runs back for 10. None of that's good. I understand. You win the race, blah, 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 get claimed, regardless.
No.
It's a negative.
It's not, no doubt about it.
You just can't stay away from Missile Bomb.
I've given
right?
him,
You just
we'll give
can't-
my old pal one
you
more
just can't
chance.
get away from him, can you?
Well, isn't he supposed to be in front of these horses? I mean, I didn't see anything at the speed in here that could remotely
Yes,
be
he is
close to
faster.
him.
This
He's
is one
faster.
that's actually faster. So what?
Listen, there have been plenty of times in his career where he's got in front of them and he's kept on going. I don't know.
Can they
if
retire
he's-
him if he doesn't run well today?
We could talk to them. I don't know if he's faced. Quite honestly, you think he's faced
We want you to
a
be
more
honest.
inconsistent bunch?
Well, I'm not sure. I think this field might be a little more interesting to you. I saw this race very differently than you did because I picked a horse you don't have your top 4, and don't give me he's my 5th pick thing because
Look, he's right there.
I don't care. I think you're making a mistake having Local Hero not in your top 2, to be honest.
Well-
Local Hero ran a race 2 back. Obviously, that was out of the ordinary for him, but it's not like he hasn't run good races in the past. And last time out, coming off the layoff, he did exactly what you want to see a horse get out of the layoff. He chased that wicked pace. I mean, he never really showed that kind of speed before.
No.
He got exactly the kind of prep you want out of that race. I like the switch to Lee Cardenas, so I think he's been riding very, very well. And I just think that Local Hero is a super logical horse in this race, and he's not going to be compromised by Missile Bomb because he's not that much slower. So he can be sitting relatively close, and I just thought he was a logical horse, second off a layoff. I don't see what there is not to like about him. I know he's 2 to 5 0 morning line. I'm not exact or 7 to 2. Excuse me. But
He's the third choice morning line.
yeah, what do you do with Deep Sea?
Deep Sea is
It's a bad horse.
probably the horse most compromised by the apparent lack of early pace in here, isn't he?
Well, I don't know the pace is going to be that slow. My problem with him is I don't think he's that good. And off the claim for Noda, when all their horses were running very well, he didn't lift a hoof.
Took him a while to get him back to the. Took him a while to get back to. It took him 4 weeks, almost a full month, to run him. And more often than not, they were turning him around a little quicker than that. They didn't drop him. They could have waited 4 more days and dropped him. Although I don't. Well, they could have ran for the 12.5, I guess. They could have ran him back for what he got claimed
Regardless
for.
of all of that, he was his usual. I just don't think he's very good. That race he won was a phonied up race, 3 races
Yeah,
back.
he just laid right off the pace because it was slow.
He showed a little more speed, but it was a very slow pace. 45 and 2 is extremely slow for 6.5 furlongs.
But don't you? I mean, the barn's going really well.
I'm not. No, I'm not. Listen,
you can't leave the horse
you can't
out.
leave the Noda horses out. They're running like freight trains, and
Right. Scarf it down yesterday. Scarf
they
it
may
down.
want to act like they've won a race before one of these days. Have you ever heard? You're a
I'm not
rooter.
here, so
You're a rooter, okay?
I am a rooter.
You're a rank amateur compared to that act. Nobody's
I've
here to
heard.
see
I've
it,
never
but
seen it,
it's-
but I've heard.
Oh, I hear it. I'm up there. They're 150 yards away.
I've
and
been
it's
sitting in my
just like,
basement more. I'm here today, actually. I enjoy beautiful Belmont Park today. But
Nice route
yeah,
for your horses. I get it, but seriously, it's quite a thing. It's quite a scene. You should stick around to see it. Maybe you'll see it in this race. Their horses, they just continue to run well. But the thing about yesterday's horse was when that horse had run badly at Saratoga, their horses were not running well at the beginning of the meet. They started picking up at the end. Now,
and they sent him. They sent him 2 turns. Did he go long earlier?
yeah,
in the
but he
meet?
was terrible. He
Yeah.
didn't lift the hoof. And he obviously ran better. Race number 4, I seem to have picked a horse that nobody has in their top 4 in a 5-horse field, and maybe I'm insane. I'm going to try to wire the field with Lenstar. He's going to be in front. He's faster than these. If Dylan doesn't send this horse, okay, well, this is not the horse we're talking about, guys, but thank you. Okay, so let's switch gears and talk about Build a Suit, okay, or not.
No,
let's
let's talk
finish the
about
Lenstar
Lenstar.
conversation. Okay, let me get my brain back in some. I know he's not that good, but he does have some races that are okay. He's going to be a big price. Why can't he just go to the front?
Can.
This field? There's a lot. There's a lot of question marks in this race.
Every horse in this race has glaring flaws.
Yeah, as does Lenstar, but
But here's the thing. I'll give it to you because
One
he's going to be
turn.
12 to 1, 15 to 1. You want to take a look. I chalked second choice with Built to Suit, but if
it's not clear he won't be favored. Obviously, David's flipping a coin. Kind of.
right. Yeah, I mean this is a horse
taking
who
a
I
bit of a
ordinarily would be interested in.
I'm taking it. I thought you would have him somewhere, but
Yeah.
that's okay. I get it. We'll take a look at Build a Suit. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. Does it bother you at all that he was entered for $40,000 and scratched on closing day at Saratoga?
Yes and no. I wonder how much intent there was to run him that day.
I think they thought about it. They did decide he was worth more than 40,000.
Yeah.
And this is when we win the Hudson. He's a very good horse. His race in the Commentator wasn't a bad race. But keep in mind, this is just his second start in about a year.
Yeah, look.
There's clearly issues. They bought this horse back in the dispersal, I think for a little under 200.
He's missed 15 months.
190
He's
or
missed
something.
9 months. I get it. I completely get it.
I want him to win. I'm rooting for him.
I think they learned last time that the mile is just not something.
Well, I don't
he's
think he ran
interested in.
badly. What did he?
I don't think he did either.
A mile's probably
I
a
think
little
it's
far.
a little out
but
of his scope. It's certainly a funny guy, Mr. Buff and Bankett have earned $2.5 million between them, and they're not running into any of those types in here. I just thought he made a lot of sense. But yeah, like I said earlier about the Mike Maker horse that we both picked, that's my lean because I don't know.
I wouldn't lean in here.
Yeah, it's very hard to lean.
I would pitch one horse in this race. I would pitch Mijos. We'll take a look at Soldado winning a race with Mijos finishing third. This is 2 back for Soldado and 4 back for Mijos. I got to tell you something. Mijos' performance in Saratoga was absolutely pitiful. I've always thought he was a one-turn horse. I liked, obviously, that win down at Gulfstream 3 back. what happened to him up there?
Yeah, you figure he needs to race off his he needs to race off the bench against Soldado, and then he comes back with the big effort going 7 furlongs. Sniper Shot came back and galloped at Gulfstream Park. He said, "All right, Mios is on track here. Forgive the Westchester." That effort, I mean, it was a non-effort last
Can't bet
time.
him off that race. I can't.
It's impossible.
I mean, the one thing about Soldado, who I don't disagree. I'm not sure he's not more likely. I don't trust him. I don't trust any of these horses, but Soldado can be close. Soldado's supposed to be the horse sitting second here, right?
And when you look at Soldado's form, he's won half of his 6 starts, right? He got beat going a mile. He got beat going a mile and a 16th to a stakes horse in Warriors Charge, and he got beat 2 1/4 lengths to Global
And he
Campaign.
didn't get a great trip that day. But let me say something else about this horse. What has he never done?
What has he never done? He's never raced out. Well, no, that's
He's
not
never
true.
raced in New York.
Right. I was going to say he's never raced outside Gulfstream. There's an Oakland
I
race there.
sometimes,
Yeah,
it
I don't
may just
disagree
be a
with that
timing
either.
thing. Obviously, he missed 10 months, but I don't know. I just don't. I think he's the horse to beat in here. I do. But I don't
In
trust
a lot
this
of ways, he is because he's supposed to get the trip, right? He's supposed
He's
to
supposed
sit
to
second
stop
to Lenstar.
Lenstar,
Yep.
and I'm reaching a little with Lenstar. I get all that.
But if
And
you think, if from where you're handicapping the race, you almost have to pick Lenstar because if you think the horse
Exactly.
that is, yeah, I'm
isn't-
not as worried about it. This
isn't the
time
interesting horse in here Majestic Dunhill?
around. Yeah,
The problem with him is he's badly pace compromised, and he's not a big price.
badly.
He's
I mean,
just
the only
such a
thing that can help
plotter.
him a smidge, is that that they're going 7/8, and his company. He's kept some tough company as
He has,
well.
but it's even at seven. Why? How does 7/8 help him? 7/8 races have slower pace than 6 furlong races.
At least it's a little more ground.
Yeah,
for
but
him.
the pace is rate to be slower. So
Darned if you do,
why-
darned if you don't.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't see that. I think the advantage is mitigated completely by that. I'm not. Listen, It's a tricky race. Race number 5. Race number 5 is a tricky race. We'll take a look at Bay Street Money, who the post did him no favors on the outside. This is him sitting second to Mr. Jaggers a couple races back. He's compromised by a lack of pace last time. He's the horse to beat in here. I got a bad stat for our friend Jimmy Jerkins and this kind of drop down. I don't know. There's never any pace in these races. He's so badly posted. I can't put him on top. I put him second.
Went to the Lasix first time last time. The Lasix comes off, which is I don't know what it means.
I didn't even know that.
Just an interesting move.
Is
The
it?
Lasix comes off. The blinkers go on. The Lasix comes off, and he takes a slight drop into a 7. He was in maiden specials. He's dropping for 7. I don't think anybody.
How's
I
that
think he's
stat?
safe today. That's a terrible stat. It's a terrible stat. And this is a horse.
There were only 2 of them were short price, to be fair. Most of them were around 6 to 1. So it's not as though he was badly underperforming. By the way, can we get a new picture of Jimmy? I think that was his high school
we need all
graduation picture.
pictures. We need pictures, man. We need pictures.
Chelsea, we need pictures.
Yeah, I mean, this is a horse that makes a lot of sense in here, but he's another horse like that race last time. I know that race kind of strung out a little bit.
Where are we
they
going with
went
Summer
slow.
Tune? Is this I want to pick
This
every
is-
horse that Joel
This
Rosario's
is
riding?
This is weird, isn't it? They bought this horse. Why would they buy this horse? They buy this horse.
Because he was for sale? Because he was there?
Jerry Hollendorfer's buying. His horse is a New York bred. He's running open for the 75 today. He's stretching back out off of the turf sprint. The two distance races came up a little faster than his turf sprints. He's switching to Joel. He's getting his 5th rider. Getting his 5th rider in his 5th start. Just got beat here in his debut.
It's not a 5.5 furlong horse. But you really think that it's a rider trainer improvement? John Stevens does a very good job. Guy's pretty sharp.
Guy's winning at 3% this year, Andy.
Guy's sharp, trust me.
I don't
You know
disagree with that, but
You see the horses he has?
one guy's won 7,000 races and he's buying horses. Buying a turf New York bred.
Well, maybe he paid $30,000 for this horse.
That's all well and good. He still went and bought the horse.
He's a New York bred. Running against opens. Okay, I didn't like him, but okay. I mean, listen,
You said it was a funky
no,
race,
no,
right?
I agree it is. I mean, listen, I don't think the one Give Me Some Mo is impossible in here. I don't love the race he's coming out of. I think Rhythm Section's not very good, and neither are the other ones. I mean, I didn't like Gunman's race. We have a replay.
It was hard for me to make the 3 or the 5.
What about break beat here?
Hard for me to make the 3 or the 5. The rest of them can win. Yeah,
That's
what's
fair.
wrong with this horse's race?
Horse ran very well first time in the turf. I think he's kind of the worst to beat.
Scano, who was kind of getting a look at
back to
professional
win.
maidens, won back to back now. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
well, this horse was off a June layoff, about 10 weeks.
Is he in front or is Gimme Some Mo? He'll probably be in front because Johnny Blasco is usually not that aggressive in these races. So Kendrick is supposed to clear, even though Gimme Some Mo is probably a little faster.
And I don't know if any, there are people out there that don't care about this anymore, but there's an aluminum pad on the one, Give Me Some Mo.
Is there?
There is. I guess you weren't listening to the changes when I was sitting next to you.
I was so mesmerized by how handsome you are that I couldn't possibly.
That's a better save than glass ceiling. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what that does early on. And there have been quite a few of these Todd Pletcher layoff horses that we thought were going to be on the lead that have not been on the lead.
There have been quite a few horses that we thought would be on the lead, period, that weren't on the lead.
Yeah, but these in particular, there was the horse in the opener on.
Oh, yeah, that day.
There was a couple of horses that just haven't shown speed. So.
Leoka Road. I actually didn't think this horse ran that badly when Cassie had him last time at Fairgrounds. And then horses private purchase by 3 Diamonds and get rained off the turf last time out. Well, this is not a dirt horse. And actually, I mean, there's a dirt pedigree.
Have the Tom de Top,
yeah,
so he might be a dirt horse.
Well, I know, but Mark Cassie didn't run him on the dirt. I don't know. I'm going to take a shot at this horse. First time in a maiden claimer on the turf for Mike Maker. Sort of a first-time Mike Maker turf horse. I'll take a shot with this.
I like the fact that he ran this horse last time. Knocked the rust off a little bit.
There you go.
I actually like the fact
I agree.
I almost picked this horse.
That's probably what he was thinking. He probably needed a race, so you might as well give him a race.
And his short stats for the last year and a half, second off over 180 days, he wins at 37% from 51 runners.
How many of them are turf? How many are dirt?
I just said the short stats.
I know those DRF stats. I wish they'd get them out of there. I think they're harmful to horse players.
You think they're harmful? You see, to me, I don't think they're that bad, especially, and I think if you use them selectively with a guy like Mike Maker, where Anthony, he runs some 1,300 turf horses.
How many of them were turf horses?
I don't have the exact number.
How many of them were going long? How many of them were going short?
I don't have the number. Oh, that's
you either
fair
do
enough.
the work or
fair
you don't
enough.
do shortcuts in horse racing.
Fair enough.
And you have no chance not to go broke.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's just me. Anyhow, we'll take a break. We'll be back with the late pick 5 after we hear from our good friends at Saratoga Water.
For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.
Welcome back to Talking Horses. He's the big A, Anthony Stabile. We'll be doing the changes after the show.
Yeah.
Johnny and I will be calling the races, though, today.
I'll be right here.
Well, you're not going to make it up there in 30 seconds? Because that I'd like to see.
I might not make it up there in 30 minutes.
Right, it's up there. Race
It's
number
all the way up
6. Race number 6. First-time starters galore. You and I picked 2 with experience. You're going to pick every Bruce Brown horse now? Is that your new thing?
No.
Because Bruce won a race yesterday with a long shot?
Why are you saying this?
You've got 2 logical Bruce Brown horses today, and he won a race yesterday at a big price. I'm up to you. I'm starting to figure out your tricks.
This stuff was up yesterday morning.
No, it wasn't. Anyway.
Sure it was.
Was it?
Yeah.
I looked for it. I didn't see it.
Stuff was up yesterday morning. Maybe yesterday afternoon.
So what do we like about Devious Mo? Who's not impossible. I don't disagree.
No, this horse ran well first time.
Well?
You don't think he ran well the first time?
No, I think he ran okay.
Inside draw, kind of chased. We talked about this yesterday about the Finger Lakes horse. I also like the way he didn't really cave. Those horses kind of ran by him, and
how'd that horse run yesterday?
I thought he ran well.
How'd that Finger Lakes horse run yesterday?
Did he finish? Third?
I don't know. Not very well.
Cutting back from the 6.5.
What I would say is to like about Devious Mo is that he chased too wide on a day that you wanted to be on the rail. So he wasn't on the rail, and the rail was very much the place to be on September 4th. So I think that might have compromised him. Everybody seems to be picking Storm Shooter for Todd Pletcher. So this horse must be working well. 8-5, David has it.
I heard nothing.
There's a couple of foals could run. Dam herself was pretty good. I don't really have a. This horse will probably get bet and probably win. 42 Ace. I had a tip on this horse first time.
So did I.
Right before the race, somebody gave me a tip on this horse. I might have told you about
You may have told me.
Yeah. Somebody called me and told me this horse is supposed to be able to run. He was kind of slow to get into it early. He chased them. He didn't run well. He didn't run that badly. They're getting Joel Rosario to ride second time. I want to give this horse another chance.
Is this horse MTO?
First will probably win. Yes, because he was sick. He was number 16.
Then
No, he'd have to be MTO, I think, at that point.
I would think
I'm not
at
sure.
that point.
He
I
must
think
have
they always have 2 MTOs. 15 and 16 would always be 2 MTOs. 14 drawn for turf and then 2 MTOs.
They don't always do that. I don't think, do they?
I think in the 2-year-old races they do. I'm not 100% sure.
He was an MTO.
Yeah.
Steve is right there.
Yeah. You know, listen, this was like you said, bunch of firsters, a lot of steam
Hennig
on
has
the
some
one
pedigree.
storm shooter.
Hennig has some pedigree. Double pour.
Yeah.
Glad to see Mark. The 3-year gap from the last fall, but it's a solid family. A couple of orders in the 80s and 70s. Nice to see his horse get it done yesterday, short pour. That horse has been very unlucky, and she showed that those were legitimate excuses in Saratoga last time. And you know, and she was a crazy price.
I got a little whisper on Blue Gator in here. Nothing over the top.
I could ask
Just
connections.
an in passing. And oh, by the way.
Okay. Is that really steam? The number
From
4,
the source
I
it
got the
is.
4 in there. Was 3 wide against the gold rail last time out. And the judge and jury race is going to be a huge price, so I figured I'd put it somewhere in there.
Okay.
All right. We good?
Yeah.
Race number 7 was not an easy race. I think the horse to beat, though, is Mo Me Money. Mo Me Mo My, excuse
Mo
me.
Me, Mo My.
We'll take a look at this horse's race 2 races back. Last race in the turf, closing behind Anthony Dean, who wired the field for the Asmussen barn. Just seems like a logical horse, right?
Yeah. I think I picked this horse last time. If I'm not
On the
mistaken.
dirt?
On this day, actually, on the turf. Rosario on the turf sprint. Yeah, I probably
Yeah,
picked
you
this
had to
horse
pick.
last
You
time.
picked every Rosario.
Anthony Dean went wire to wire 4, Asmussen and Ricardo Santana, I believe. Yeah, I mean, we always we seem to do this a lot. I mean, I think you would probably deem her the horse to beat in here, right?
Yeah, it's close. She's the horse to beat, I think. Okay, elucidate me of what you possibly like about Sky Snow.
I'm just hoping the cutback helps.
Why? When did these cutbacks win? Cutback. When did they ever win?
Well,
19 for 104, 18%, $1.69 ROI. When did we start betting cutbacks in turf sprints? They never win.
I wasn't
This was a
thrilled.
weird pick by you.
I wasn't. I wasn't.
Is there a
thrilled.
tip on this horse?
No. Let me ask you a question. Do you think I would accept a tip on a horse like this?
I think you would accept a tip.
No shot.
What do you like about this horse?
I would need to see some. For me to take a tip on a horse that's run, I need to see something.
But the problem with
radical.
this horse is going to be 20 to 1. The horse is going to be bet off of distance for him, and it very rarely transfers.
I had nowhere else to go in here for my.
Well, I mean, Ava's K's girl on a drop down. I know she was terrible last
I
time
kind of
out.
had enough of her.
She did get pinballed around and kind of taken out of the race
Yeah,
last
but
time. I've had enough of her too, but she's not impossible, and I think probably more likely than your horse at a much better price. I like Henny Penny on the drop down for what it's worth. Dave Donk, he's got a big priced horse in there, but he's got decent enough stats with first time for a tag. He's 12 for 57 overall. He's 5 for 36 in the turf. Nothing special, but I just think she's been running against much better horses, and she kind of fit with these.
She's been running against much better horses the last 2 races in particular. I just didn't think she did any running. Now maybe she's just getting outrun by these horses.
You're not wrong. Well, 2 races back, she was caught behind a ridiculously slow pace. Okay.
Right, but then she came back the next time and didn't really.
Did
She
not
ran
run
kind of the
particularly
same
well.
race.
That's why
you know?
David's dropping her. But
Yeah.
I think against this field she fits.
I'm going to go on I'm obviously spreading it. I'm not leaning
What
on
about
Sky
Corey
Snow.
Scores?
Yeah.
Corey Scores a little bit interesting. In other words, I think maybe better going shorter. So
She
this
has
turn
some,
back,
she has some
sprints.
sprint
For
form
Chad
under her
Brown,
belt.
but she was also kind of a money burner. But I didn't think she was impossible.
Yeah.
I'm going to use 1 9s and 10s mostly.
I'll tell you what, though, that race she broke her maiden in, that was, oof.
Yeah, she won by 5 though.
I know, but I'm saying that she needed to find a bunch like that because she had burned plenty of money up
won by-
until that
she
point,
ran very
4
well
to
two
5
back.
twice.
She
She
ran-
did.
she ran very
She
well
did.
two back. That
But
was
that
a-
was off the break. You know, a lot of those Brad Cox horses did run well off the break. Quiet Out East when he brought her back first time before she was claimed. Yeah, my boy.
My run happy cup.
Could all run happy. Yeah, it was a tough
Took me
race.
12 years to actually bring an actual mug to the desk. 12 years.
12 years?
12 years of doing the shows before I actually brought something slightly.
That's
professional.
partially my fault. I was supposed to give you a Country Life Farm mug, but I kept it.
It's the kind of guy Anthony.
I know
is.
Sally Ellen Hurst is watching.
Race
so
number 8.
I wanted to think
Let's look
you
at
slighted her.
Blackjack Davy in race number 8, who was just way the horse to beat in the rail. Ran into a buzzsaw who wired the field last time for Chad Brown. Showed improved speed. This horse runs back to his last race. He will not lose to this field. Period.
And when you take everything he's done so far in his career and you put it all into a blender, the 1 turn mile looks like is what's going to hit him right between the eyes.
7 to a mile seems perfect. I don't disagree.
I wasn't about to get cute.
Could not disagree.
I'm cute enough.
I don't disagree. I mean, listen, we'll take a look at Bourbon Bay finishing second to Yankee Division. He ran fine in this race. You know, Yankee Division was absolutely loose. I mean, he stalked, but he was controlling on the front end. The pace was very moderate, and I thought Bourbon Bay ran fine in this race. I just don't think he's as good as Blackjack Davy.
I'll tell you, this is one of those races where if you're playing in a higher tax bracket than I am, I thought this is one of those numbers that's going to be hanging up there at $6 for $1, and I thought you could just pound this thing. I thought this was a cold 1-8. I don't like anybody else in here.
I don't agree, but that's not surprising. Let me ask you a question about 6%. Is it just me, or does it feel like Mike Maker suddenly has about 900 horses? Have you ever seen a trainer that has more horses off the claim or trainer changes in the last 2 to 3 months? This guy?
And
I think Mike's terrific, so I'm not.
After like the first 3 weeks of Saratoga, and I don't know if that's just when I noticed it. It was before.
Noticed it.
See, I've noticed it since then that it's just like I literally feel
it has
like
it has really blown up.
I feel like every day there's 3.
It's scary.
And when I'm doing the shows for HRN, I'm looking at tracks like you
well,
are.
I look at
on
Churchill. I mean, it just seems like
they're everywhere. I mean, Indiana Grand. He's got horses from Mike Rapoli now.
Yeah, I mean, he wins. I'm not.
Yeah.
I understand why people give me horses, but I don't think I've ever seen a trainer amass.
He won a race.
Especially a guy who's been around a long time and winning races for a long time. These people just figured out he could train.
They won a race the other day. Him and Rapoli won a race the other day in Indiana Grand. So
was Mike there?
I don't think so. I don't think either Mike was there. Rapoli or Maker.
I don't think this horse is impossible off the trainer change. I don't know.
I've kind of seen enough of him.
I have, but he is cutting back to 1 turn after 2 turn races. I thought he'd run better. I thought he had a shot, though. The trainer stat switch numbers for Mike Maker are not good. So he's 16% with 6-2 starters, and he's $1.20 ROI.
You know, I'm not a fan of giving out $6 exactas, but I felt pretty confident with this one.
I'm not a fan of anybody giving out $6 exactas.
I'm just saying.
What I like are guys that have tout sheets that brag about him on
I'm not about to brag about it. I'm just saying that there are times where,
in particular, Nimrod, who likes
you got to take what you get and like it.
Tell you that you and I should be fired. He's my favorite. Brags about $11 tries.
No, I think I paid $17.50.
Sorry.
Come on, Andy.
I exaggerated.
Yeah, let's get some fact. If you're going to speak fact, speak fact.
So, race number 9.
Here we go.
Race number 9. Let's look at 2 back for Ready for Prime Time winning and Ghoul running 3rd. I think you're zigging when you should be zagging and zagging when you should be zigging.
Story of my life.
Yeah. Ready for Prime Time might win this race. I've got him 2nd. But he's about as fortunate a horse as you'll find, sort of like Pecatonica. All the speeds took back 2 back, so he walked on the front end in this race when he won. Now, Ghoul ran very well when you consider there was no real pace in there. Last time out, the pace was so slow that Pulsate was the horse on the front end with him, and Battle Station was sitting right behind them. All the speeds forgot they were in a turf sprint in that race as well. It's sort of shocking what's going on.
It was closing
I think
Sunday.
Shaki Shabazz was rated in there. That was a very clever ride.
He was.
He's been lucky, and he's not going to be able to control over Saif. And I know you liked Saif last time, and I laughed at you correctly. He was in a race that had a monstrous amount of speed. But because he had been foolishly rated in his prior race, the intent was to make sure he gets the lead.
Overcompensation.
Right, and I think because of that, Jose knew he had to hustle him out of the gate. I mean, Jose was riding to his instructions. I don't knock him at all. But in order to get the front, I know he's up by 4, but he wasn't getting the lead against that field by, fooling around coming out of the gate.
And there was some give in that ground, too, so that he went fast.
He was
flying.
Not that much give, 101 and 4, but you're right. You're not wrong. He was flying. No, that's fair. He was flying. Now it's not as strong a pace. And I hope they don't say, oh, well, we were aggressive last time he lost. I mean, Anthony, he lost to Chewing Gum 3 back, who you would make your best bet of the century if you were in this race. Isn't today the day to take Saif?
I thought about it. I did think about it.
And yet you're taking Ghoul, who to me, all he's doing is picking up pieces and races. And I'm not saying he can't win. I've got him 3rd.
I just think the extra half furlong gets him over the top.
That's gibberish.
I know you think it's gibberish.
It is gibberish. It's not more distance.
I know you think it's
gibberish. It's not
gibberish.
different. Distance has been a problem.
Well, he closed into that.
Slow pace, two back.
last time, and he
but last time out he closed
I
it.
just think he needs more ground, Andy. I just think the half furlong,
Anthony,
that 6 hits him in the
doesn't.
eyes.
He doesn't.
Why do you say that?
Well, let's look at his 6 furlong turf race.
He ran against a graded stakes winner.
Anthony, it's the slowest figure he has showing, second slowest he has showing on the turf.
They also went.
It doesn't matter, Anthony. It doesn't matter. He was only 7-1. It was a dismal performance by him. There is no, the idea that these horses can't get up at 5.5, but they would get up at 6. You know that's illogical.
But you think none of them?
You know that's a bad handicapping
hold on a
example
second. Maybe on a blanket statement, but I think he's proven by those 2 efforts in his last 2 races that he just needs a little bit more ground because he didn't have help.
So,
and then he had
in
help,
other
and he ran
words,
the
what
same
you
race.
say is he's going to commence his rally at the 5/16 pole and not at the quarter pole. Or the quarter pole and not the
I leave that
3/16
to
pole.
Joel
And he's got an
Rosario.
extra 16th of a mile kick. And that was Joel, that idiot Joel Rosario. He didn't realize 2 times he rode him, that nitwit who's only the best turf sprint rider I've ever seen in my life, especially with closers. He didn't realize that he needed to move a 16th of a mile earlier. And he would have had that same kick if he had moved earlier.
Well,
Anthony,
obviously it
you
helped.
know that it doesn't.
It
You
has
know
to help.
that's flawed thinking. That's the kind of, that's like the logic of the illogic.
But you're just taking the you're taking the math.
No, it's just like you said that Majestic Dunhill is better off at 7 furlongs. Not if the pace is slower, he's not. It's not distance, it's dynamics. It's not distance, it's dynamics.
But what I would argue with Majestic Dunhill is I think he has a better chance at the 7 with a slow pace than he does at the 6 with a fast pace.
I don't agree with you.
Okay.
I don't agree with you that much.
Okay.
These are flawed thinking. Dynamics win races, not distances.
Some horses need distance. Some horses
do, but
and I
what
think
has Gould done to show you that he needs more distance?
He's run this. He's made the same move in a slow pace
and
he
he's
did
able
at a fast pace at the same distance.
Yeah, he's a nice horse, but it's not the distance he's losing. He's just losing. He's a nice horse. He can win this race. But the 6 furlongs is not the deciding factor. That's not really
For
the.
me, it is. If that's not your opinion, that's not your opinion. My opinion is he needs a little more ground.
Yeah, I think from an example standpoint, it's bad. What is 12th Labor doing in here? Was he in here to make sure this race went for the other Linda horse?
Well, that's what I thought
Linda
at
claimed
first.
this horse.
Then
This horse has a multiple winner in the turf, but this horse's turf races.
This horse was entered for the turf last time.
In a mile 16th.
At
a mile.
No, at a mile.
Okay, number one.
Yeah,
the
at a
2
mile.
turf races were in line. The problem is this horse's recent form isn't that good. Linda would have to improve more than the best races. Maybe. And this is a wise guy horse in here. I kind of get it. I didn't put the horse anywhere, but I
didn't
kind of
either.
get it. But I think that today is the day for Saif. What's Fig Jelly going to do for the Noda freight train?
Who knows? Well, you used and I didn't.
Well, I put him 4th.
Yeah.
I almost put the 8th 4th. I hate this horse. He never wins. He was awful last time. But maybe he was compromised by the fact it was no pace.
He never wins.
But he was compromised by no pace. Yeah, he never wins. That's
You
the thing
wonder
about it.
you wonder with a horse like him if there's a spot that he's ever going to win.
He couldn't win for service. It
Right.
might not. The Nodas might not even be good enough to win with a horse that couldn't win for service.
But he kind of, and even last time, right? I mean, he kind of ran the same race he ran for 35-3 life that he didn't know Lucky Coin. The same race. He ran
Listen,
the same race.
I know somebody that picked him 2 back.
I do too. Good-looking guy. I think that's the one thing I can tell you.
I didn't
about
mean
him.
Jonathan Kinchin. He picked him too. I meant you.
I didn't mean Jonathan Kinchin either.
No, really?
Mazanet?
I was thinking of you when I was making fun, but when you said good looking, I was thinking of Jonathan. Race number 10. What did you do in here? You picked we picked the same horse in race number 10.
Did we?
Yeah, you're picking the Bruce Brown horses. I got it. What do you like about this horse?
The other Bruce Brown blazed the trail
So
through
they stiffed
Saratoga.
this one to let the other one win?
Of course, that's what they do. They give the big price the. I'm not serious by saying.
What
that.
do you like? Anyone who thinks you're serious is not worth
You know
caring
what?
about.
The funny thing is, races like that, they kind of turn into nice little learning experiences.
Well, what did he
Where
learn? What
Robin
happened to him
Sperkles,
in there?
He did not get off particularly well.
What happened that he didn't get off well?
I don't recall.
He jumped up at the start. You could have watched it. He jumped up at the start and broke about 1 length slow. I don't know.
I saw what I needed to see. I saw the big win by Robin
You saw.
Sparkles.
Here's what he
Joel
saw. Here's what he
Rosario,
really
that's
saw.
it.
That Joel Rosario was riding
That's
him.
it.
That guy
was
who
enough
doesn't
for
know how
me.
to time his moves in turf races.
That was enough for me.
Bonus Baby is obviously an hour and a half the horse to beat. Robin Sparkles ran a hole in the wind. We'll see. It's not the best rider change. Bonus Baby, Benji's going to have to go with this horse. I'm all 1s and 9s in here. That's it. The 9's a bit of a shot. The 1's way the horse to beat. I think the 1's will be shorter than 5-2 and should be. The rider might make the horse higher price, but she's the horse to beat.
I had to use a little Christoph. I had to use a little Dream Chasing.
Well, of course, you have to use Kristoff in every race. I
It's in my
picked the third,
contract.
but I don't like that horse. You've got that horse ahead of the 1.
I do.
Can we bet a lunch?
Yeah.
Oh,
Wait. Yeah. We can bet a lunch.
We're at 58. 1 lunch. I got
Sure.
1 against 12.
I'll take 1 lunch.
12, not much horse, Ant. Not worried about the outside post here. You're worried about it. Oh, the horse you worried about, the dog leg, won. That's right, I forgot.
How about that other thing? That other horse, the horse might never
How about
win.
the photo that horse lost? We thought it hung on, but then we saw the slow mo, and you could
Thought
see
it
the horse
hung
got
on.
nailed.
I went back and forth 3 times.
Lost it right at the bob.
Yep.
It was a pleasure. Shall we do this again tomorrow? Same bat time, same
I
bat
guess.
channel.
Vosburg tomorrow, one of my favorite races of the year. Big Vosburg fan. Love the
Pico
Vosburg.
Central. Remember when he won the
Go Sapper for me. That was
I
that
made my
was
biggest bet of
unbelievable
the year
day.
that when he won that. He
I
paid
watched that-
$860. He should have paid about
Should
$260.
have paid 260. I watched that race. I don't remember. I couldn't get out here.
$860.
I watched that race at the old New York City OTB on the corner of Cross Bay and Liberty by Aqueduct under the L. And I went in there and I literally bet every dollar I had in my pocket on the horse.
12 or 14 to win.
Like 600. I put it in my OTB account.
How'd you
to not pay
you
the
blow
vig.
it back in the last race?
I watched. No, I took it all out. I took it all. My
Was
friend,
Jimmy second in there? Voodoo?
I believe so. My friend Jim. I used to go to my
Agadon.
friend
Was
Jim's window
Agadon
to
in
take
that race
everything
too?
out. Maybe.
Somebody odd was favored.
Watched the race. Took the little white card that had 1,000,000 cracks in it. Put it in. Took out like 2,400. Left like 180 in there for Meadowlands and Yonkers for
So
the old
glad I
man.
brought this up.
Took the money out and left. He was something.
Blew it all in the late pick 4 at the Meadowlands that night.
Probably bet some Jackie Moe thing that got parked a mile. Yeah.
Oh, they were racing thoroughbreds. Like that, they were still running thoroughbreds there at night.
Then I probably
Weren't
bet
they?
some Daniel Dubé thing that
Weren't
got
they
parked a
still
mile
running
at Yonkers.
thoroughbreds?
Yeah, you're right.
It's a long time ago.
17 years.
16,
2003.
16. Oh, 3, yeah. I had 24 to 1 and Go Sapper to win the Rears Cup Sprint. He didn't run him. Cajun beat one. I don't know if he would have beaten him anyway. Anyhow, head over to
he'd have
Naira
beaten
Bets.
him.
I don't know if he would have. Cajun beat Wire in the field. The race didn't set up well for him. If you're not a member of Naira Bets, support racing in New York. We will match the $200 of your deposit bonus, of your initial deposit. Support racing in New York. Use Match 200 as the promo code, and you can play wonderful things like the 50-50 today through the app only. Bet 50 at each track, Churchill and Belmont or more. You get a $10 bonus, and also you have until 5 o'clock I think tonight to sign up for the Belmont $250 live money contest through Naira Bets only. These are every Saturday at Belmont. These contests are great. You should check these out. Great way to play. You keep all money you make, so it's live money. It's all good. Anthony, it was a pleasure. We'll do it again. Same bat time, same bat channel, all weekend long, all meet long, except the days we don't. We do different posts. We done?
Yeah.
I was going to say
I know you
Johnny
were.
I is up with a reprice.
Let's see if you're
going to
do it right.
But Big Boy here is up with a replay with a reprise.
Guys
Distraction
call me Big
changes.
Boy now. I don't know what's going on here.
We started talking about your fingers.
We'll talk to you in a few minutes.
See you later.
problem is too with that? Better guys than him have